Hello and welcome back to Hydroponics Daily, your go-to podcast for everything soilless cultivation. I'm your host, Dr. Russell Sharp, the founder of Utrema Limited. At Utrema, we manufacture interesting fertilizers, novel biostimulants, and organic biopesticides. So check them out on utrema.co.uk. Today, I wanted to talk about another crop that I think could make a tremendous crop for a startup, so a small to medium-sized hydroponic company, whether that's in a greenhouse, but probably more in a grow room. This would be particularly suited to somebody or a company that was looking to diversify away from growing legal cannabis, because this crop requires a lot of height, and so it's not one for a vertical farm. It's Cardoon. If you've ever come across Cardoon, it is like a giant thistle, and has massive leaves and produces big, massive thistle spikes like globe artichoke. However, unlike globe artichoke, you don't have to go through to flowering. You only have to produce the young vegetative stems, because that's what is consumed when it comes to Cardoon. So it's related to globe artichoke. In fact, it's in the same species as globe artichoke. However, it's a different variety. So Cardoon, they're both in the sayonara, sounds Japanese, isn't it? Cardoonuculus. And so I think it's better than globe artichoke as a crop. And the reason I say that is because potentially it's a really good one that a small hydroponic company could pitch to Michelin star restaurants, high-end restaurants. And that's because Cardoon is used in a number of different dishes, high-end dishes, but particularly in Lyonnaise cuisine. So food that comes from the city of Lyon, the gastronomic capital of France. Cardoon Lyonnaise refers to a dish where the stalks of Cardoon, the petioles, the leaf stalks, and rather than the stem, not really a stem, are cooked often with gratin or a similar fashion. It's a speciality of the Lyon region. So you're going to get Michelin star chefs who have been trained in Lyon who will recognize this plant. And crucially, it's not available commercially apart from in France. So if you're outside of France, you could grow Cardoon. Now, if you're growing this elsewhere and you think that's different, then let me know. But the beauty of this is that because you'd be growing it in a grow room, you could have multiple plants, you could have them growing at different points, and you could have fresh Cardoon stalks throughout the year. And whereas normally it's a plant that grows really fast in the spring, in the late autumn, spring, and then dies off early summer once it's flowered, and then goes completely under the ground. And so you're probably only going to get fresh Cardoon in late autumn, through the winter, into spring. And so I've had Cardoon in my front garden for about 10 years now. It's a fantastic plant, grows ridiculously fast. So simply the biomass you can produce is crazy. So I think it'd be a fantastic one for hydroponics, because you could even, hydroponics, you even double the growth rates. It doesn't suffer too many pests and disease, a bit of aphids, some thrips when it gets to flowering. But with Cardoon, you don't even need to get it with hydroponics. For this use, you don't even need to allow it to flower necessarily. So that saves you a lot of hassle, saves you the thrip issue, and you can divert resources through to stalk production, leaf production. Produces these absolutely gigantic leaves. It produces a very thick rhizome in the ground that can be used for propagation. You just chop that up and you get loads of new plants. So you don't even need to buy the seeds. You can just get a mature plant, dig it up and chop up the rhizomes. I've actually got rid of my Cardoon, but I'm trying to get rid of it. I chopped it up, buried it in the ground amongst the other plants that I've been planting, and it's reappearing. It's that it wants to regrow that fast. So I'm currently dealing with trying to kill Cardoon at the moment. So yeah, it's a good crop. If you wanted to, if you specialised in Cardoon, you could even branch out into globe artichokes once you got all the system sorted, got the nutrition dialed in, things like this. You could also sell the plants for ornamental use to garden centres and things like this. And it's actually part of it. The plant is used in cheese production for production of rennet and enzymes. However, that's a very niche use. It's consumed in the cuisine of southern Italy as well. So Sicily. So if you've got any Sicilian neighborhoods, diaspora around you, perhaps in New York, then this could be potentially a good crop to grow. So I think it suits those sorts of grow rooms where legal cannabis or even illegal cannabis is grown. A good diversification away from that. If the cannabis industry in your area has gone through the floor, then and prices have dropped, then Cardoon would be a fantastic one. And obviously, if it's Michelin-star restaurants, then they will pay a high price for authentic, fresh Cardoon. An interesting one there for you, a startup idea. If it comes to anything, you make millions from this, then remember who told you about Cardoon in the first place. It was Dr. Russell Sharp of Utrema.co.uk. And the least you could do for me sharing this amazing business idea with you is that you could give Hydroponics Daily a 5-star written review on Apple Podcasts. Make sure you click follow. And if you're not on Apple Podcasts, then just check out utrema.co.uk because we have amazing fertilizers that can be used for hydroponics. It can be used for growing Cardoon. We have biostimulants to make that Cardoon grow even faster. And if you do get thrips or aphids or any other pest or disease on your Cardoon, then we do biopesticides as well. We manufacture them in-house ourselves. But I have never had a disease on my Cardoons in 10 years of growing them. And the one pest I do get a lot of is snails. Not slugs, snails. And my solution for that, as well as slugger, which we sell at Utrema, is just to pick them up and throw them into the road for the cars. I'll crush them under my feet. Sounds cruel, but mollusks can feel pain. They're one of the few pests that can feel pain because they're mollusks. They contain opioid receptors. So you have to kill them quickly if you're going to kill them. You can't let them suffer. A bit of a tangent there. Before I get into more controversial areas, I will leave it at that. Thank you very much for listening to Hydroponics Daily, and I will see you again tomorrow.